You hope that people understand that you have a human heart and a soul and that you have your own life. And what I'm finding so difficult to digest at the moment is this kind of loose awareness I have in the few moments I have between dealing with legal or dealing with PR or dealing with just helping Amber not feel like she wants to kill herself.
Did Eve Barlow really just admit that Amber Heard has been pulling PR stunts? Ever since the defamation trial concluded with Johnny emerging as the victor and Amber fined $10 million in damages, she has been going around claiming bankruptcy and doing things that suggest that she may be homeless and struggling. Well, fans were not falling for it and have been speculating that it was all a stunt to make her look incapable of paying Johnny, so that she would have the sum she owed him deducted or scrapped completely. But now Eve Barlow, her rumored girlfriend or wife, whichever the case may be, has confirmed the rumors that she has in fact been pulling PR stunts behind the scenes all along. This has left many wondering what is true and what's not. Eve had been a vocal supporter of Amber from the very beginning of the trial. Even after she was kicked out of the courtroom for breaking the rules, she had been actively supporting Amber from the sidelines. When Amber lost the trial, Eve swooped in as her knight in shining armor, defending her from haters online and continually antagonizing Johnny, who had absolutely nothing to do with her. For someone who has proven to be an avid defender of Amber, you'd expect her to be the last person to expose Amber's shady ways and dirty tricks she pulled to win public sympathy and favor. But how exactly did she do it? For anyone that's been following the Johnny and Amber drama, Eve Barlow is not a foreign name, as she is currently one of the most hated individuals on the internet after Amber. According to her Twitter, she is a Zionist, but on social media, she is known as a professional victim and also as Eve Fartlow.
You may know me as the Jew everyone hates, or a Twitter meme and a hate name, Eve Fartlow, if you've been living under a rock.
Eve first gained traction during the trial for being the friend that got kicked out because she just couldn't stop using her phone. Although she was mainly hated for being friends with Amber, many also hated her for her problematic character, propagating lies and constant posting of insensitive comments on the internet, like when she called Palestine supporters idiots and when she made a comment suggesting that her sushi delivery was more important than the actual war that was going on. Apparently, just a few days ago, Eve went on a podcast with Daniel M. Rosenberg on the Sod's Law podcast. During the podcast, Eve let a few things slip that could potentially cause serious damage to her BFF Amber. In the podcast, Eve shared with Daniel how difficult it had been for her to be at the center of such a massive drama. She starts by saying, "You know, it is what it is. Here I am in this house in Virginia, going through the worst thing a person could possibly go through." She went on to say how her micro-understanding of things had helped her to cope and not really digest the full extent of hate she had been receiving.
And what I'm finding so difficult to digest at the moment is how I'm being owned by the Jewish community, and it's really disgusting. Like it's difficult to accept if people suppressing my purpose towards other things.
Not only are she and Amber still living in the $22,500 a month Virginia house, but she also confirmed the rumors that they have an intimate relationship, as she refers to Amber as the most important person in her life. And she also sees the actions of the Jewish community, whom she claims to be actively supporting, as disgusting.
When you say the Jewish community this, I think, and we all, when I say we Jews, I should say, you and I being Jews, having this type of conversation, this is a bit of an echo chamber. Very few of our critics are going to go, I wonder what they've got to say today, and listen to this and engage with this positively. But the Jewish community that you refer to, I think, is a little too broad. And maybe we'll talk about this, and maybe I'm making some assumptions, but let's say living in LA, not necessarily a religious Jew. I've heard you refer to yourself as a bit of an atheist Jew. Maybe your Jewish community, the one that operates purely online or mostly online, or remnants of your physical community from home who you still keep in touch with, that's not the same Jewish community I might have. Say I've been to shul this morning in my local community to take my kids. Right? That's not necessarily the same community, although we're all part of a wider community. And that's weird if there was some sort of nuclear bomb community that wouldn't exist anymore because it's purely electronic and exists in the ether.
Eve then said that she can't believe the things people are saying about her, calling her a fraud and a narcissist like Amber.
It's a good reminder. I cannot believe the things people are saying to me about how I've been a fraud this whole time, and it's clear that I'm just a narcissist like Amber. And I'm like, you don't even know this. Like, you don't know me, and you don't know her. You don't know our relationship. Like, it's really got it's nothing to do with anyone. It's just got nothing to do with this.
Some fans responded to this by saying, "The old you don't know me routine. We don't need to know someone personally to know who they are. Their actions can tell the type of person you are." Someone else added, "Correction, Eve Barlow, we're getting a pretty good idea of who you are. The way you behaved in court, doxing podcasters, attacking anyone or everyone on Twitter, and, quite frankly, birds of a feather flock together. The fact that you hang around Aish speaks volumes." In the podcast, Eve also spoke about her struggles with dealing with the actress, as well as exposing that she has been the one dealing with Amber's legal and PR.
Understand that you have a human heart and a soul, and that you have your own life. And what I'm finding so difficult to digest at the moment is this kind of loose awareness I have in the few moments I have between dealing with legal or dealing with PR or dealing with just helping Amber not feel like she wants to kill herself.
Apparently, Eve had been trying to keep Amber's suicidal tendencies at bay while also dealing with the PR they set up to restore her public image. Ever since the defamation trial ended, Amber and her team have been desperately trying to appeal the verdict, saying that she does not have the capacity to pay Johnny. Amber was ordered to give Johnny Depp $10 million as compensation for lost career possibilities and $5 million in punitive damages. When her ex-lawyer, Elaine, was asked if she could pay Johnny the stipulated amount, she responded by saying, "Absolutely not." And since then, pictures of Amber looking distraught, shattered, and homeless had been circulating around, creating speculation that she might really be struggling financially. Many were convinced that it was all a hoax setup to gain public sympathy. And it seems that this theory was accurate, as Eve just revealed that they had in fact been working with PR. But aside from the financial issues, Amber had garnered significant hate from the masses, and so it would make sense that the PR team would not only try to make her look vulnerable, but also try to repair her public image. And if you paid attention to details, you would have noticed how the owner of the Tel Aviv store she visited in Israel with Eve came online and had only positive things to say about her. Not only that, but the Women's March had also somehow been convinced to display public support for Amber. As we all know, at the time of the trial, Amber had fired her whole public relations staff and abruptly moved to a new one. According to a source, she doesn't like bad headlines and is frustrated with her story not being told effectively. This was why she hired the PR guru David Shane to help paint a picture of her ex-husband Johnny Depp as an alcohol-binging. Apparently, Shane Communications, which was led by David Shane, had prior experience dealing with Depp. The firm had represented Johnny's former business manager, the management group, after he sued them for a breach of contract. It seemed like this was enough reason for Amber to trust him to pull off her plan of painting Johnny as an alcoholic. Unfortunately for her, he obviously failed the mission, as Johnny won the trial. This entire controversy has sparked even more hate on Amber, with some calling Eve dumb for not seeing that Amber was using her, and others saying that Amber had also threatened Johnny with unaliving herself, just like she's doing to Eve's. She often threatened Johnny that she would kill herself. It's a narcissist took to gain sympathy and get their own way. Eve will learn what it's like living with a psycho, but what do you think about this entire drama? How do you think this news will affect Amber's reputation further? And what do you think about Eve's comments? If you think this video was hot, wait till you see this next one.